You are listening to Zimbabwe News. Keep listening to Zimbabwe News.
The primary purpose being to enhance access to justice.
ICT, Postal and Courier Services Minister Dr. Jenfan Muswere says the training of the judges dovetails with the aspirations of government in its quest to have a digitally literate population.
The government, through the National Development Strategy, which was launched by His Excellency, the President in November last year, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, has identified a digital economy as one of the key priorities in order to transform the socio-economic conditions in the country.
The government has emphasized that focus on human capital development will create a knowledge-driven economy for sustained growth and modernization of the country. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
A joint operation to curb road carnage during this year's Heroes and Defense Forces Day holidays has been launched.
Public holidays are usually associated with fatal accidents on the country's roads, although movement of traffic has been minimized as a result of a ban on intercity travel. As part of restrictions to prevent the spread of COVID-19, a number of fatal accidents have been recorded on the country's roads. This has prompted stakeholders such as the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, Vehicle Inspection Department, and the Zimbabwe Public Police to launch a joint operation that has seen the deployment of law enforcement teams on the country's major highways ahead of this year's Heroes Day holiday.
The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe Republic Police has deployed 25 teams that will be dotted on the country's major highways. We would also like to inform anybody who is traveling on the roads in Zimbabwe that the Vehicle Inspection Department, the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, and the VID will stop any vehicle that is being suspected of being in a dangerous condition and take appropriate action according to the Road Traffic Act, Chapter 13.11.
According to statistics from the Zimbabwe Public Police, there was a 54% increase in road traffic accidents during this year's Easter holidays compared to the same period last year. Last month, an accident along the Masvingo-Balabala highway claimed more than 20 lives. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The country recorded 51 deaths and 956 new COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours. In a statement, the Ministry of Health and Childcare said the 7-day rolling average for new cases fell to 1,136 from 1,261 the previous day. So far, Zimbabwe has recorded 115,445 positive cases, 86,526 recoveries, and 3,805 deaths. The national recovery rate stands at 74%, and active cases dropped to 25,114. Meanwhile, as of yesterday, 1,817,598 people had received their first dose, with 966,672 receiving their second dose. And now in our following report, the Fombe community in Nyanga North has welcomed the Zimbabwe Defense Forces mass vaccination program, which has seen rural communities getting the life-saving jab.
The COVID-19 mass vaccination program coverage continues to expand, with the Fombe community at the border of Nyanga North, Mutoko and Mozambique getting the life-saving jab. The local community commended the Defense Forces and government for prioritizing remote areas that are usually neglected by service providers.
Saka nhasi tatosvikirwa saka tabaiwa tiri kufara nezvozvo tafara nekuya kuita chirongwa icho chichatibatsira zvakanyanya tibatsira watipawo chidziriro chekuti tione kurarama pasi pano tanga tisati tambobaiwawo nhasi tabaiwa
vagaro vekuno vari kutenda zvakanyanya kuti tabatsirwa nechirongwa ichi. Ndinoda kutenda zvikuru nechirongwa chauya chemasoja kuti auye kuzobaira vanhu.
Zimbabwe Defense Forces team leader at Fombe Clinic, Lieutenant Power Dongorere, spoke on the benefits of the vaccination program.
We are working in collaboration with the Fombe Rural Health Center staff, that's nurses, in the mass vaccination program against COVID-19. We are also attending to minor health ailments. We have got drugs in stock to treat those conditions.
Nyanga North legislator Honorable Chido Sanyatwe said the initiative, which had overwhelming response in her constituents, speaks to the visionary leadership of President Mnangagwa as both Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and the leader of the country.
Tiri kufara zvikuru nekuti chirongwa ichi chasvika kumamisha asi vabereki vachitambira zvikuru.
The consistent procurement of COVID-19 vaccines has greatly improved vaccination coverage as the country targets to achieve herd immunity. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutari.
Police crackdown on illegal transporters defying lockdown measures continues amid an influx of pirate taxis and intercity movement.
Congestion is once again taking its toll on some of the major roads in the central business district of Harare, extending outwards to residential areas. Several arrests have been made, vehicles impounded or at least fined for not adhering to lockdown regulations, but transport operators still have their way. Scores of people could be seen waiting for transport and at the slightest opportunity jump into all sorts of pirate taxis, seemingly unaware of potential danger. Zimbabwe Republic Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati indicated that more than 60 buses have been impounded for defying lockdown measures.
Intercity movement is banned. It also entails that no transporter, particularly the so-called public service vehicles, should be carrying passengers from one town to another, or even trying to cross the country's borders.
Government has outlined a plan to decongest the towns and cities, which has also seen law enforcement agents tightening their screws. Wellington Makwanese, ZBC News, Harare.
Chief Chovani, who succumbed to COVID-19 on the 20th of last month, has been buried at Chovani Homestead in Chiredzi East.
Government officials, legislators and traditional leaders were part of the mourners who attended Chief Chovani's burial ceremony this Friday. The family described the late chief as a loving and caring father. Chiredzi East legislator Honorable Denford Masia said the late Chief Chovani was a principled traditional leader.
Pfungwa dzake dzekudabudiriro achisiya musha nemakuva asekuru ake achivhurira irrigation yakauya 1983-84.
Fellow traditional leader Chief Gudo noted that the death of Chief Chovani is a huge loss to Masvingo province. Chiredzi District Development Coordinator Mr. Love Mochisema added his voice saying Chief Chovani will be remembered for his endless efforts towards the recognition and deployment of Tsonga people.
Surely the dream of our departed chief to see and develop Tsonga area, and these people shall continue to live, and the government will leave no stone unturned to fulfill his dreams.
Born 75 years ago at Mteo village, Chief Chovani Hlaisi Mundau did his primary education at Mteo School, and he was appointed substantive Chief Chovani on the 27th of July 1995. He is survived by 4 wives, 30 children and 103 grandchildren. Deima Tambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
We now move on to arts, where rising dance outfit The Future is proving to be a force to reckon with on social media platforms owing to the group's captivating dance moves.
The young dancers showcase coordinated and spirited dance moves, a clear sign of their determination to excel in the industry. The members of the group, who are between the ages of 7 and 14, are ecstatic about living their dream and they aspire to take up dancing as a career.
I just like dancing, and then I started copying other people, and I just became good, you know. It's like, it was just a surprise, like, I don't know what happened, then like whether with a show punash. Then for afterwards, we were so happy, like, yeah, I can tell, like,
At the patron of the group, comedian Mighty T reckons it is key to catch them young.
Right now, we have a tour. Varufana kwenda South Africa. Pana artists akawadeidza kuti vaende kunotamba pa music video. Saka things have been really going on well. And ndikunzwa kufara semubereki. And vabereki vavo vachifarawo nekuti vanovasapota pese paunoita zvinhu vanofamba nevabereki vavo. Saka tirikunzwa kufara sevabereki kuti vana vedu vari kutobudirira mbijana takatarisa, especially now muCovid. Zvikoro zvakungoitirwa pamaZoom meeting. And unoona kuti dzimwe nguva vana, not all of them are academically intelligent. Vana vane zvipo zvinoda kukurudzirwa, saka tiri kumbopusha zvipo zvavo muCovid imomo.
The Future Dance Group, which was established early this year, has worked with artists like Batirai Shasha. Colette Sanyira, ZBC News, Harare.
And now we move on to business news, where the business community has commended the monetary policy review measures for complementing Treasury in consolidating the current stability.
Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries Chairman for Banking and Economics, Mr. Jimmy Silos, reveals the impact of the monetary policy review on economic growth.
One of the things which we were very pleased to see in the monetary policy statement was the commitment to eliminate the backlog that is currently plaguing the auction, and to converge the parallel market rate with the auction rate. And obviously key to that convergence is tight money supply, which is also a commitment made in the monetary policy.
And economic analyst Mr. Makanaga Shambare outlines the importance of an aligned economic policy system.
With inflation under control, this allows for a stable macroeconomic environment in terms of the exchange rate and the general price level in the economy. And such an environment will be conducive for business planning and investment.
The private sector is therefore being called on to play its part on economic recovery.
Let's look at agriculture, how agriculture has performed in the past season. Agriculture has performed extremely well, such that we even have a surplus of maize. We ever thought about that? Hats off to the people who thought about Fumvudza and who managed it well.
The monetary and fiscal policy had a slight policy shifts focused on inflation reduction, had a common vision on growth targets, and focused on increased production, financial discipline, among other takeaways. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
And finally, in sports news, Warriors player Tendai Darikwa has made history by becoming the first Zimbabwean captain to captain an English team after landing the skipper's role at League One side Wigan Athletic. And that's all from the Lunchtime News team for today. Good afternoon.
And SADC region. The SADC region has protocols they signed to operationalize the organization. And these pacts and protocols and the structures include the organ on defense, on politics, defense and security, which has guidelines and objectives. These regional trainings are specific at times with general exercises where we train as complete forces. But we also have specialist training where we have special forces training, where we have logistics training, for example, communication training, training on engineers, where they do cooperation on things like, for example, bridging of flooded areas, like what we realized when the South Africans came to our assistance during the cyclone Idai. So it is necessary that we train together if we are going to operate together.
We salute our defense forces for standing guard over our Zimbabwe.
We have always held on to hope. The belief, the conviction that there is a better life, a better world tomorrow. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness. We have lost millions of lives up until now, and this pandemic led us into lockdowns that have stopped life as we know it. But there is hope. Several vaccines have been created tested and approved by the World Health Organization and are being distributed globally to help curb this virus. The Ministry of Health and Childcare has been on its toes to facilitate the vaccination of Zimbabwean citizens to reduce the impact of this virus.
Now we've been vaccinated. The process is very fast and the lines are moving so fast. Many handlers are operating, so the lines are really moving.
I just got vaccinated and this is my first jab. So I'm encouraging every one of you, all Zimbabweans, to get vaccinated.
To everyone, you and you, come, roll up your sleeves and get vaccinated.
It takes dedication to roll up your sleeves and say, I am going to play my part and get vaccinated. I am going to protect my loved ones. Every jab administered means one more ray of hope, one more loved one protected, one step closer to normal. Stopping the spread of COVID-19 requires us as a nation to use all the tools available. Protect yourself and others. Let's roll up our sleeves and get vaccinated today. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Childcare, supported by Chicken Inn, Revive and Bakers Inn.
I'm Colonel Lydia Mambontiani, currently the Colonel Administration Staff within the Army Headquarters. For the Zimbabwe National Army, we have made great strides, and we actually start from the grassroots. Within the Zimbabwe National Army, we make sure that on recruitment, be it of non-commissioned members or officers, there's actually a quota that is reserved for females, because we are trying to ensure that these females will also undertake and partake the same roles within the organization that used to be reserved for males only. And after having recruited these females, we go a step further and we ensure that we send these females to training. All the courses that are undertaken by the males, we also subscribe a certain percentage. And it's not a matter of just filling up places with females. We ensure that those females will be having the requisite qualifications and they'll be performing at par with their fellow counterparts. I would like to congratulate Zimbabwe, 41 years of peace. And I would actually say to the whole nation that we are here for you. We are your people as Zimbabwe National Army. We are here to protect you. We are here to maintain peace. And we want to continue working towards this pandemic that is actually causing a havoc in our country. Make sure that you always sanitize, you always put on your masks, and you maintain social distance.
We salute our defense force.